All right, what's going on, big dogs? So I know this review is a little bit late, a little over a month late, to be precise, but it's one that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I am very happy and excited to do, and that is my Helldivers 2 review here. So I want to explain exactly why it took so long, and I'll actually get into that later here in the video when I get to my bad section of the game, on one of the things I disliked about it, I guess you could say. But I want to start this off on a positive note. So Helldivers 2 is this futuristic game where Super Earth is now expanding across the galaxy and is trying to spread democracy all over the world, or all over the universe, right? That is their goal. They're going to all these planets. The people they send in to help colonize these planets and basically eradicate, commit genocide on the races that live there, which in the game are these bug-like creatures. So it kind of gives you a Starship Troopers kind of vibe, which the game is compared to, but this is just a way better version of the Starship Troopers game, to be completely honest. And then there's the other faction, which is these robotic guys that have guns and big mechs, and there's different variations of enemies and all sorts of stuff like that. But you are this Helldiver, person who is sent in to eradicate the planet, basically, to make it, or spread democracy, basically. And you're basically cannon fodder, right? That's what you are. You're not a particular super soldier or anything like that. You're just going in, guns blazing. You have a mission to do with a couple little side objectives you can do along the way. You have a time limit, which is shown on screen, and it tells you how long you have before you have to extract. And if you don't, then you die on the planet. You don't get as much XP and blah, 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 blah. So again, it's very Starship Trooper-like, but with its commentary and its kind of comedic take on, you know, the human race expanding across the galaxy and things like that. Very well made, very funny, and the game vibes on its own stand up, right? You already are probably thinking, man, that sounds like a great game, and I'm gonna get to the good stuff here. So Helldivers 2, although I had to wait to play it for a while, man, wow, was it worth the wait. Like I said, I had to wait about a month before I could even play it, even though I bought it on launch, which we'll get to again here in the bad section. But man, once I finally got to play this game, it has been one of the most fun experiences that I can recently think of in any game I've played. It's honestly up there with Elden Ring on just how much fun and just a shock and awe I've had at this game, with just the funny commentary that's going on while you're out there, you know, literally fighting for your life. Like, this game is not easy. The first couple missions that you do are not super hard. You'll probably die once or twice, but the higher up you go, expect to be dead. Like, it gets really tough. You really have to strategize. You really have to think if you can actually go up to the next difficulty, or if you need to grind a lower difficulty to help you unlock new stratagems, which stratagems are basically these boosts to your team that you get to deploy. So you can deploy like turrets, you can deploy shields. You'll see me on screen here, actually, you know, going into this menu where I have to press a certain key to purchase this thing, which they're free to use. They're just on a timer, and then you can throw them into the battlefield, right? So you can summon down like a support weapon, like a machine gun or a rocket launcher or something like that. You can call in an airstrike, all sorts of crazy things. So in the middle of this battle that you are, again, for sure going to die in at some point, you are now all of a sudden playing Dance Dance Revolution in game to summon down support and help for your team. And it's an absolute nightmare of a game to play. It's just chaos constantly, and as soon as you get a break, the game just immediately knows that you've been standing still for too long or something, and they are like, all right, well, you had a good 2-second break there, so here's a random bug hole, and you are now being swarmed by 3 tanks and 2 elites or some crap like that. Like, it's insane. It's fast-paced. It's entertaining. The community's been great. It's one of the best communities I've played with. It honestly feels like everybody in this community is a big like Starship Troopers fan, and the Starship Troopers Extermination game, which I've done a review on, is really good, and I think it's really underrated. But this is just a better version of it. It really is. This game is just more polished. It runs better. It plays better. It's a lot more comedical or comical. Sorry, it's a lot funnier to sit there. Funnier is not a word, but whatever. Just to sit and listen to your characters. Like, if you get shot in the gut or something like that, your character will scream in pain, but in like the most dumb comedic way ever. It sounds like the SpongeBob character when he's like, "Oh, my leg!" Like, everybody knows that one, and you hear that randomly in battle. It's crazy. And And yeah, the game has just made a wonderful impression, and it honestly deserves its like 95% rate on Steam for likes. Like, it is overwhelmingly positive for a reason. It is a fantastic game, and it deserves the reviews it's gotten. It really does, because wow, have they done a great job. And to top it off, not just the game itself being fun and enjoyable and just a fun time killer, the developers for the game and the people who actually, you know, made the game have been very responsive. I was having issues, which we'll get to here in a second. Their support team are extremely responsive. I was getting several emails a day, no problem, and we were trying to figure out ways around my issue and all these other things I could try. And eventually we did come to the conclusion that no, we're just gonna have to wait for a proper patch to come out for it. But they were extremely helpful, absolutely top tier. Like, they have done everything right with this game, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Now, the only bad experience I have with this game, and now we're finally here to talk about it, is, like I said, I had to wait about a month before I could play this game. Now, I don't want to hold my issue over the game, because this wasn't an issue when they did like the public testing and like the testing for the game. Like, they hadn't had this issue. And basically the issue was with the newer AMD, and I believe Nvidia had the issue for like a little bit at launch. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought Nvidia also had this issue, but theirs was able to get patched out extremely quickly. But it was the newer graphics cards that have come out, like the newest ones. Something with their drivers was screwing up with the game and basically causing your graphics driver to, or your graphics card to kind of overhaul, and then your driver would crash, and thus the game would crash. So you just couldn't play the game. Now, that didn't happen to me at first, so I actually bought the game on launch. So it came out February 8th. I bought it on launch. I bought the whatever special edition, so I got all the couple battle passes that came with it and a few new customizable options. Basically, I was actually able to play it with a few of my friends for about 2.5 hours, and we had a great time. We decided that was enough for us for the night, because it was pretty late. Went to bed. I woke up the next day excited to play some more, and it crashed. I got into a game, got on the planet, crashed, and from that point on, the exact same thing would happen. I could get into the game, but as soon as I landed on the planet, boom, game would crash. And that was all I could do. So I started troubleshooting with their support team, like I said. And again, they were extremely helpful, extremely fast. Like, I honestly couldn't have had a better experience. And they deducted, like, only, you know, a day after launch or 2 days after launch, that they were having issues with the drivers with AMD's 7000 graphics card series, which is what I have. So I was going to have to wait for either in-game update or driver side update to fix this issue. So I expected it to take about a week or two, and to their credit, they were putting out updates for this on both ends. AMD was trying to patch on their side. The Helldivers crew over at Sony were also, you know, trying to do their part and patch it out on their end. And they were talking back and forth. They were very responsive on like public forums and things like that. So they were doing a great job. Clearly, this didn't affect everybody, because this game doesn't take a lot to run on a PC, especially. Like, a very basic system can run it perfectly fine. And there's not a huge ton of people that have the 7000 series. Like, a lot of people bought the 6000 series, and not a lot of them upgrade. The card was kind of hard to get at first. Now it's a lot more available. You know, why really upgrade? It wasn't like the most insane upgrade ever or anything like that. So I don't think it affected as many people as, you know, I thought it would. But after literally a month of trying to play this game, it was, you know, every day or two I'd try to play it a couple times. Sometimes I actually got to finish a game. I'd get to finish a mission, and then it would crash. So it was just an up and down roller coaster of me trying to even get footage of this, me being able to actually land on the planet was becoming harder and harder. And then finally, about a week ago now, they released a driver update on AMD side, as well as Helldivers released their newest update, which I am now fully able to play this game, and I've been playing it over on Twitch nonstop. It's one of my favorite games already. Absolutely a blast, even when I'm just playing by myself with randoms. Usually the random people are wonderful. The community's great. And like I said, it was definitely worth the wait. I see why it has the reviews it has. I see why everybody loves this game. And I genuinely think if you don't have it, you should. I honestly give... If I had to rate Helldivers 2, it'd be a 9 out of 10, hands down. The only real gripe I would have with it is, although I think the game really thrives with the whole playing as a team and all that kind of stuff, even though that is a kind of the core concept of the game. I do kind of wish they would add in a solo thing, just because sometimes you get into lobbies with random people who are playing on a higher difficulty for the first time, or maybe they got kind of boosted to it with their buddy, and it's just not enjoyable. Then it's basically playing with a man down the whole time. That can suck from time to time. That's not really their fault, which is why I don't want to dock it too hard. And then, like I said, with the whole issue with the drivers and stuff, it wasn't perfect at launch. I guess I know, like I said, they didn't have issues with it prior, so they were surprised, just like we were, that they had this issue at all. And yeah, they fixed it relatively fast. So again, I'm not going to dock them too hard for that. So overall, one of the best games I've played in a very long time. Again, I think if you haven't purchased Helldivers 2, it is completely worth every penny you spend on it. Wonderful, wonderful game. But anyways, guys, let me know what you thought of the review. If you did enjoy, remember, please leave a like, comment, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already at all. It really means a ton and helps with the algorithm a lot. Thank you guys all for your time. And until the next video, guys, Godspeed.